Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Hey, if you liked the video, click that like button and click subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. Appreciate you watching. This is the Fat Man. I'm gone. Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Out here in the shop today. Ain't gonna be out here long. Heat index supposed to be around 110 today. They're saying it's gonna be that way all week. Chances of storms every single day. Of course, with this heat, that's what's going to happen late in the afternoon, early in the evening. Every day you're going to get pop-up thunderstorms. Some of them's going to be pretty rough, and they're saying some of them this evening may be severe. So I want to try to get this little video done real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to anneal some brass for reloading. I'm going to reload some 5.56. What I got here is the Annealeez Gen 2. I know probably a lot of you guys that shoot have probably heard of this, but if you have not, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of what it is, what it does, and roughly about what it costs. What this is an annealing machine. What annealing is a way that you soften a metal. With this machine, it's made to soften brass with open flame. And what happens is with brass, when you heat it, it gets soft. Then when you work it, it re-hardens. So what this machine does is it puts in there and it drops one round at a time, and it'll drop down through here and it'll land on this wheel, and this wheel will turn around and it'll deposit it in this wheel, and then this wheel will turn to where it will roll over and over and over right here with the flame going on it until it stays as long as you ask it to, based on the speed of the rotation right here that you can set with a digital control system. And what that does is it brings it up to a temperature that you want to get it to, so that the annealing process is done, but you don't make it too hot, make it too soft. So it's kind of a fine line you have to dance, but the good thing about these is they have a digital readout, and what it is, it's a time, and what that is how long it takes this bottom wheel to make one complete revolution. And then after it reaches that full revolution, it'll drop the case out. And once it drops that case out, then it'll be out of the flame. It'll begin to cool back down, but it'll be softened not from work, but from heat. And then when you go into your press and you full size resize it, then that will harden it back. And what that does is it keeps you getting a lot of split necks in your case. It'll give you longevity for your brass. It'll allow it to be easier to back set your shoulder a little bit. It makes everything so much easier when you're going to form this brass back to its original size for reloading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get all these loaded in here. I'm going to load 50 of them into the machine, and we'll watch it run a few of them. I'm not going to make you sit through watching run 50, but we'll run through it enough to where you get a general idea of how it works. I'll be right back after I put these in. Okay, that's got 50 cases loaded into the machine. Now as you can see, 50 cases nowhere near fills this up. This whole area up here, I guess, could be even filled up till it was rounded up. Probably, if you want to try it, it'd sure hold 150, 175 cases anyway, even if you just filled it up level. I don't never have to overload it. I'll load 50, maybe 100 cases at a time. I'd rather have fewer in the machine at a time so I can keep an eye on everything and make sure I'm not going to have any fall accidents or stuff dropping off and causing an issue. Real quick, I'm going to turn this thing on and show you how it works. Without the flame turned on, then we'll turn the flame on, and we'll get it right about where we want it to be adjusted, and I'll show you how to do that real quick, and then we'll get to annealing these cases. So we've already got the power supply plugged up to a wall outlet, and now I'm going to plug it up. Alright, and as soon as you plug it up, it'll start. Now, as you can see, both these wheels turning, and they're turning in opposite directions. Now it'll pick this one up to drop. Now the next one will drop in right behind it. Flame would be hitting this one at the moment, and that one's falling down into the container. And as soon as this one comes around, it'll drop into that notch. Another one will come down and start to be heated. This one's already been heated. It'll drop out, go right down. But most of the time, if you got good clean cases, you won't have no problem. What I do is I keep a little small screwdriver or a stick or something just close by that I can just tap the front of the case if it's not spinning, and it'll get traction. and it'll take off spinning. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop it, and I'll take all these cases and put them back in. Alright, just got those back in there. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to look at, I'll take that case out, I'm going to look at where my fire is pointing. Where I want my flame to be centered at is pretty close to the middle of the shoulder, and you can do that by turning this whole brass fitting in here where it's like the torch end. You all know what a MAPS gas torch is. Well, you can aim that fire, and what I want to do is I want it to be about the middle of the shoulder. By the time it anneals everything, it's going to anneal all the way out to the tip, not go too far down the web of the case or the sidewalls of the case. It's going to stay up in the front. That's where we want the heat to be. Now I'm going to move this out of the way for a second so I don't have to have my fingers right up there. Alright, we got it lit. Now I want to back this way down. Way down. I don't want a huge amount of flame, and I only want the flame to just touch the edge of the case. So I can look at the end of my flame here and I can see where it's going to be at. Now what I want to do is quickly, I want to stick that in there, and that shows me that case is just about exactly where I need it. I can see where the flame was hitting. It was about right in the middle of the shoulder, just where I want it to be. So now I'm ready to put that back up. Put my little drop bin in here, and again guys, I'm going to set this down to 27 seconds because that's about the best I get with a 5.56, it seems to me. So you just got to watch and make sure everything's operating correctly. So we're going to start it, and I'm going to watch, and you got to watch the color of your brass. You want the brass not to be overheated. That looks really good. That looks really, really good. I want to maybe turn that in just a touch. Just a scooch more. Now I don't want to overheat my brass. There's one that wasn't turning. So I'm going to take that one out, lay it to the side, and we'll run it back through in a minute. For whatever reason, that one wasn't turning, and we want them to turn every time. You got to have good clean brass. Adjusted my time because you know, I think with this MAP gas especially, I think humidity and a lot of other stuff plays a role, and sometimes it'll do what you want it to, and sometimes it doesn't. So you just have to deal with it. Now that's interesting. This process just showed me something. This case has a split neck, and I saw that split neck because I was watching the flame and watching the color on the annealing and making sure that the case was spinning, and it made this crack in this case glow. I hope you'll be able to see that crack. But that showed up from annealing. Always also make sure you don't put a case in this thing that's got an unfired primer in it. Now all I got to do is push stop. Turn off both valves. Now here's the difference with the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. This is why I wanted a Gen 2, not a Gen 3. Gen 2 has a hose. Okay, so I've got two places I can turn the fuel off. If something happens, something crazy was happened, I still have the ability to stop this flame in two different places. Okay, so with the Gen 3, because they said it was so hard for them to be able to access these hoses, to get hoses to put on them, they changed it around to where now you have a stand that the MAP bottle gas sits on and attaches to, and you can just freely move it on your bench. I don't like that. I would rather have it with the hose, because everything's self-contained and I don't have to worry about losing that little stand if I take the MAP gas bottle off and store it and all that stuff. And the Gen 2 versus the Gen 1 has this readout where the Gen 1 just had like a rheostat knob you turn, and you watch the wheel and turned it up to the speed you want. And this thing can be adjusted way out. You can do probably, I'd say it wouldn't be a problem to do 300 Win Mag. Everything's attached right to it. Even the electrical cord has this little Velcro strip that attaches it right to the hose, so you ain't got to worry about losing the electrical cord. And it's pretty simple. But let's take a look at the end result. Hand's a little warm because all them pieces of brass in there. But you can look in there and look how even the annealing is on there. I mean, they're all annealed right down to the same level, same length on the case. It's not too far down the case. It's not far enough down the case. You can aim that flame exactly where you want it. You get just below the neck, so you got everything is good and soft when you go to reform your case, and it won't be an issue. You can get these for around $250, for the money. To be honest, I think they're one of the best on the market. You know, I mean, it's just my opinion, but I can tell you my experience with this one. You just saw it right there. It works well. It doesn't take long. We ran 50 cases through that in, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 minutes, and it doesn't take much time at all. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all watching this video. This is a Fat Man. Hope to see you out there somewhere. I'm gone.